They are 2/3 of a three-man rivalry that has lit up the German Wrestling Federation for the best part of 2018. Tonight, in our main event of 3 Count, John Klinger and Lucky Kid, 1-on-1. Huge main event coming up on this week's 3 Count, but first of all, we welcome to the ring, if he can get that far, the Persian Wonder Kid, Arash. Arash looking confident on his way to the ring. No one seems to have followed him out here. Oh, wait a second, there's Erkan. That's Cash Money Erkan, the former Berlin champion. Arash hasn't seen him, and he sees him far too late. The Cash Money kick by Erkan. And Cash Money Erkan obviously fancies a warm-up, as we now know it will be him who goes one-on-one with Chris Cohen at Legacy for the GWF World title. Cash Money Erkan with perhaps the biggest night of his career coming up at Legacy, his first chance at that World Championship in 2 long years in a singles match. And Erkan, having taken Arash's part in this match, looking, of course, to go into Legacy on fine form. But if he's going to head into that World Championship match with a victory under his belt, then Erkan is going to have to beat a former World Champion. Orlando Silva somewhat concerned at the unconscious Arash. But Silva's going to make his way down here, ever popular with the GWF fans. And Silva knows exactly what it is like to hold that championship gold. A big, big test for the golden boy, Cash Money Erkan, this week on 3 Count. Oh, and Erkan, right from the get-go, taking out Silva. Erkan will send Silva to the ropes. There's a leaping uppercut. They call him Mr. Uppercut. Dave Bradshaw here at ringside this week. We are just a little more than a week away from the biggest night on the GWF calendar, Legacy, and as I said a minute ago, it could be the biggest night of Cash Money Erkan's career if he can finally win the big one against the Austrian Wolverine, Chris Cohen. Silva gets the boot up. Erkan will try and charge in again, and Erkan, a little over-exuberant there, sent flying to the outside. Erkan trying to take a breather here. Silva will try and launch on him. And Erkan sent flying into the ramp. One of our stewards going down as well. Erkan, of course, had an opportunity at the world title at Revenge, but it was a 5-man tables, ladders and chairs match. Always something of a lottery in those circumstances as Silva goes for a early pinfall here. Well, there will be no such 5-man action for Erkan at Legacy. He will have the world champion all to himself, one-on-one, on November 3rd here in the German capital, Berlin. Silva is going to climb to the top turnbuckle here. And Erkan with a slap. Erkan showing no signs of the kinds of slightly odd fatigue we saw from him as a superplex from Erkan. We'll go for a cover on Silva against a 2 count. Last time we saw Erkan here, it was against Tarkan Aslan, and Erkan clearly not himself on that occasion, but very much back on form here. Erkan over 2 meters tall. And looking forward to that big opportunity at Legacy. He's going to go for the cash money kick that took out Arash earlier. Spinning enziguri attempt from Orlando Silva. Go for the cash money slam, and Silva had that one scouted as well. Silva with a kick into the jaw of Erkan. Going to look for maybe the sunset flip bomb is Silva. Will that do it for the former champion? No, it won't. Of course, Erkan against Chris Colan for that world title at Legacy on November 3rd will be live on our on-demand service, wearegwf.com, including for the first time ever, live English commentary. Erkan, for a second time here, looking for the cash money slam, and this time he nails it. Silva lands hard on the canvas. Erkan with the cover, and Silva kicked out on 2.5. I mentioned Tarkan Aslan. Aslan has a big match of his own at Legacy. He's going to go one-on-one with one half of the tag team champions, the Arrows of Hungary, Icarus. Goes for the cash money kick a second time, does Erkan. Silva borrowing a leaf from Erkan's playbook with an uppercut, and now he'll launch over the top, another sunset flip. There's a kick into the head from Erkan. Silva doesn't really know where he is. Cash money, Erkan, there's the cash money kick. Erkan with the shoulders down, the leg hooked, and Erkan victorious. Cash money Erkan marches on to Legacy on November 3rd for a potential date with destiny. As we look at some of the highlights of this one, Orlando Silva launching himself early on. Superplex looked like it might be a turning point in the match, but Silva was able to get back into it with this sunset flip bomb for a close near fall. That patented cash money slam couldn't get it done for Erkan. And then this was where it ended, with that kick to the head. And then finally an absolutely devastating cash money kick. And if Erkan can do that to Chris Cohen at Legacy, we'll be looking at a new world champion. Well, it is 2 years since Cash Money Erkan had a one-on-one opportunity for the world title. He gets another one, November 3rd. And on this kind of scintillating form, you may just be looking at the next champion of the world. Here comes the opportunist, one of the most dangerous men in all of the wrestling world. They call him Bad Bones, but there has been bad blood between John Klinger and the man he's going to face tonight in our main event of this week's Free Count. Lucky Kid and Klinger have been at each other's throats ever since April of this year. They'll go head-to-head in a triple threat match at Legacy, but one-on-one tonight. So a 2/3 preview of that triple threat match tonight that also includes Pascal Spoutner, and Klinger looks ready. He'll certainly need to be ready though, because this man is, as we always say, one of the most exciting wrestlers in the world today. Lucky Kid from right here in Berlin. He's a former Berlin champion among his many, many accolades. Lucky Kid also came within a hair of winning the Battlefield match, as did Klinger just a couple of months ago, but such was these two's hatred for each other, along with the third part of this equation, Pascal Spoutner. All three of them took their eye off Bram, the eventual winner of the match. It cost them the match. And you could argue the same was true at Revenge in that TLC match for the world title. These three have been a thorn in each other's sides all year. Nose to nose there with John Bad Bones Klinger. Goes Lucky Kid. And somewhere back in the locker room, you've got to think Pascal Spoutner, the star of Berlin, will be looking on and hoping that these two do each other some serious damage, little more than 1 week away from that big, big triple threat match between the three of them at Legacy. Bell rings, we are underway in this week's main event. Lucky Kid, the overwhelming crowd favourite here, as you would expect, and John Bad Bones Klinger with not really any idea what to make of these eccentric antics of Lucky Kid. He's nothing if not unusual, is Lucky Kid. And again, this rivalry between these two and Spoutner dates back to April, the light heavyweight World Cup earlier this year. And at that time, Klinger was the hottest free agent in independent wrestling. And he surprised everyone by interfering in a match that featured Spoutner and Lucky Kid. Ever since then, all three of them, as I said, absolutely laser focus on their mutual dislike for each other, as Klinger with a high backdrop on Lucky Kid. Kid is trying to gasp for air here, gets his boots up to stop the marauding Klinger, but Klinger with an overhead throw onto Lucky Kid. And as I said, these two men, along with Pascal Spoutner, will collide at Legacy November 3rd. That's not the only triple threat match coming up on our biggest show of the year, by the way. The Berlin title that Lucky Kid used to hold will be on the line, as Jem Kaplan, the current champion, defends against El Phantasmo and the debuting Speedball Mike Bailey. There's a match that could steal the show. Kid here is clinging on to Klinger's leg, if you excuse the pun. And Kid is very amused that Klinger has ended up in the same situation as him, down on the canvas. Speaking of championship matches at Legacy, don't forget Aisha Raymond, the new women's champion, will defend against Jamie Hayter. And how about this for a showcase match as well? Seema versus T-Hawk. A showcase match from OWE. Our friends over in China. As Lucky Kid again with his crazed behavior, which I think is starting to irritate John Bad Bones Klinger. Klinger launches himself back in. Lucky Kid, with a mistake there, took his eye off Klinger for a second, and Klinger nearly put him away. Big chop across the chest from Klinger sends Lucky Kid down. And you can tell by the ferocity with which these two have been unloaded on each other here on 3 count just how intense it's going to be between them and Pascal Spouter at Legacy. Something has to give as Klinger may be looking for the self-justice. Oh, in the end, he hit a missile drop kick. Klinger with the cover on Kid, and Kid out at 2.5. Klinger is remonstrating with the referee here about whether that was a 2 or a 3 count, but very clearly Lucky Kid kicked out. And I do just think, looking at these two, and Spouter as well, that it's got to be good for all 3 of these guys to just get this rivalry out of their system. Let there be a winner one way or another at Legacy, so that all 3 of them can stop interrupting each other's careers and maybe move on to bigger things. But at the moment, the hatred between all of them is so high that you just can't see that happening as Lucky Kid takes out the leg of Klinger. Cover and a kick out by Klinger. Lucky Kid looking a little bit perturbed that wasn't enough to put Bad Bones away. Tremendous crowd support here in the German capital, as always, for Lucky Kid, who will send Klinger to the opposite rope. Klinger will reverse the Irish whip, follows him in. Lucky Kid leaps over the top, goes to the ropes, clothesline attempt, and there's a German suplex with the release from Klinger, and a second one. I thought Klinger was going to go to make it 3 for 3, but instead he hits multiple kicks to the head of Lucky Kid, including that last one, which may have knocked him out cold. Klinger hooks both legs and gets another 2 count. Klinger barely able, it seems like, to contain his frustration. Highly competitive main event here as Lucky Kid fights his way through. Klinger though with Kid on his shoulders. Lucky Kid escapes. Takes another boot. There's a slap across the chest from Kid to Klinger, but Klinger fights back with the kicks. He will send Lucky Kid to the ropes. There's the handspring and the back elbow by the former Berlin champion, the young lion, with sliced bread. The cover by Lucky Kid. Another close pin, but not close enough as far as Lucky Kid is concerned. Both men down. And what has been an action-packed main event here. And if it's like this on 3 count, imagine what it will be like on the biggest stage that GWF has to offer when these two and Pascal Spouter collide on November 3rd at Legacy. Kid goes for a full Nelson. Klinger goes behind, looking for the German suplex. Another handspring. This time he gets caught by Klinger. And a German suplex, but Lucky Kid lands on his feet. Kid with the agility of a cat. The clothesline finally takes Kid down. Klinger, the suplex into the slam, hooks the leg, the cover, and will that do it? No, it won't. John Klinger, close but no cigar so far. But he is stalking the wounded Lucky Kid here. Klinger looking for a landmark victory headed into Legacy, where he'll try to make it 2 in a row if he can win here. It's a code breaker by Klinger. Lucky Kid in trouble. Hang on a second. There's someone in the ring. Oh, God. Big clothesline. Hang on a second. That looks like... That's Pascal Spouter. Well, we knew he was here. Pascal Spouter, the third part of this puzzle. Spouter has interrupted this match between his two arch rivals, John Bad Bones Klinger and Lucky Kid. He's thrown the referee out of here as well. Spouter shouting in the face of Lucky Kid. And Spouter looking incredibly confident headed into Legacy. Well, the match has been thrown out. Clearly, here's some of the action from before Pascal Spouter got involved. There's the missile dropkick from Klinger. That handspring back elbow. Tremendous agility from Lucky Kid. The sliced bread nearly got it done. The suplex slam for Klinger. Klinger with the code breaker, but it was at that moment that a hooded man ran into the ring. It turned out it was Pascal Spouter. And Pascal Spouter making a statement ahead of that triple threat match at Legacy. We are just a week and a half away from the biggest show of the year on wearegwf.com. But meanwhile, we will see you next week for more Free Count on YouTube and Amazon Prime.